Hi, I'm Amber Padgett. I go to Norwood High School, and I spent the summer at the University of California in Santa Barbara. I worked at the REEF, which stands for the Research Experience Education Facility, and it's just a touch tank facility with temperate and tropical environments. The REEF was completely employed by undergrads, so we had one boss, Scott Simon, and everyone else were all students attending UCSB. And while I was at the REEF, I took care of animals, I took care of the facilities, and I also helped lead programs within the REEF. This is what the REEF looks like. These are several of our tanks. These are all temperate tanks. We had invertebrates and vertebrates within the tanks, so sea stars, sea urchins, sharks, fish, eels. There was a variety of things, and all of the animals were taken right from the Santa Barbara Channel. These are some of the invertebrates that were in the tanks. So let's see if I can figure out this pointer. These are both sea urchins. This is a purple sea urchin, also known as Strongylocentrotus purpuratus. And these are bat stars, which are also known as Asterina miniata. So one of my jobs was also to learn common and scientific names of all the animals. These are just some more pictures from the tanks. So this is what one of our tropical tanks looked like. It was about 5 feet tall, and we had 11 different species in it. Someone did not decide to make ramen in the tank. These are actually sea hare eggs, so my second week of work, they just kind of showed up, and I was like, what are these? Like, I don't know what this is. And they're just eggs. And this is a group of students that came in touching the swell shark. We had 2 swell sharks, Big Mama and Fabio. They were one of my favorite animals because when they're scared, they'll swim between rocks, and then they can take in a bunch of water and swell up to twice their normal size, so animals can't pull them back out. These are just more groups that would come in and explore the reef. We had ages from kindergarten all the way up through adults, and sometimes the adults were even more interested in the animals than the kids. This picture is taken up on the bluffs. So the campus in Santa Barbara I literally could walk 20 seconds and I'd be on the beach. So this is Campus Point Beach right here. So part of what the reef would do is take students down to the beach, and they would explore, and we'd let them basically just kind of run wild for 10 minutes, and they'd bring back shells, rocks, pieces of lobster and crab, anything. And then we'd talk to them about abiotic and biotic factors and their ecosystem. And then we'd take them up on the bluffs and talk to them about their environment. So we talked to them about the Channel Islands and also about invasive species like the ice plant and the eucalyptus. So I gained a lot of valuable work experience, so not only gaining experience talking to people and being able to educate people, but also learning how to cut up squid and shuck my own mussels. I also learned how to problem solve on my own. My mentor, Scott Simon, was super passionate about doing things on your own before trying to get help. I also created a lot of friendships, and I definitely took advantage of being on the coast. Another thing that was one of my favorites was we got to clean out the holdfast tank while I was there. So the holdfast is what holds kelp down to the bottom of the ocean, and it's home to thousands of different animals. And when we were cleaning out a tank, we found a bunch of shrimp, and we also found a little octopus, and I think they named him Hank. Just a couple more pictures of what I got to do. I got to go fishing for plankton with Scott. Also, one of my favorite things was we had to clean the tanks about twice a week, and almost every time I cleaned it, I'd find a little baby sea urchin or baby sea star, which was really cute. I also got to attend a seminar led by Bob Ballard. For those of you who don't know who that is, he's the first man that went down and kind of explored the Titanic after it sank. These are some of the beaches that I got to go to. So I had 2 host families. One lived in Goleta, and the other lived in Summerland. So I was maybe 5 minutes away from the beach when I lived in Summerland. But Summerland Beach was about a 30-minute drive from campus, so I was fortunate enough that my host family lent me a car that I could use, so I definitely gained experience driving in the city, which is not my favorite, but so yeah, I definitely spent a lot of time at the beach. Another thing I got to do was I got to go kayaking. So these are some of my coworkers, Alexa, Nora, and Joe. So we went out kayaking, and it was a really cool experience because I got to see sea lions, seals, dolphins, up firsthand, so we'd been talking about it and talking about the kelp forest, and I actually got to go out and see it. These are just some more things that I got to do. So my sister and my mom came out and we spent time together during the 4th of July, and there's these old ladies that created their little fort on the beach. So yeah, I spent a lot of time outside. These are my 2 closest friends that I worked with. This is Alexa and Nora. I talked to them every day while I was there, and they definitely took me under their wing and helped me during my time away from my family, and I still talk to them on a daily basis. This is me holding my favorite animal in the reef, which is a sea hare. A lot of people think they're really gross and slimy, but I think they're adorable. They're a sea snail, and so they have like a little foot on the bottom. And this is a little one. There's some that can get to like that big, and you hold them and they just kind of like fall over the sides of your hand. So gravity is not their friend. But they're super cute, and fun fact about them is they can actually ink like an octopus, which is toxic to the other animals, but you know. And this is me on my last day of work outside the reef, and these are pictures of all of the undergrads that work there. So to future pinterns, it can be super intimidating, 1, going out on your own, and 2, being around people that are experts in a field that you're interested in. But just go for it. Like, it's amazing being able to talk to someone that's so knowledgeable, and it opens the door to many different opportunities. And if you're fortunate enough to go somewhere like Santa Barbara, it's pretty nice. And so I would like to thank not only Pinhead, but all the donors, my host family, my own family for making this possible. I gained an amazing amount of knowledge, and it was invaluable, and I will never forget this experience.